Hey everybody, Jochen Heiden here, and I'm back with the 8 December 1941 Turn 2 Combat Replay and Analysis. Um, so if you watch my strategy video that I just released the other day, you'll know that I'm not expecting a lot of great things to happen this turn. I think he's going to completely slaughter us, leaving Hong Kong, Singapore, and finish off whatever's left in Manila. So I've been kind of dreading watching this, but I'm going to just have to rip the Band-Aid off and do it. So let's see, let's see how bad. Guess we got music on this one. Sorry, guys. I hate when that happens. I'll turn it down a little bit. I don't want to hear that. All right, so Iptayat Island, which is north of the Philippines, is taken. Or he's not taking it. He's attempting to take it. What was I looking at? I don't know what I'm looking at. Okay. All right. He did take Itbayat Island, and now he's landing at San Fernando, which definitely makes sense. You would want to land there. Okay. He's coming ashore at Guam. And another landing at Mersing, which totally makes sense. And another. Okay. Another landing at Kota Baru, which also makes sense. These are things that we already expected here. Just kind of fast forwarding through these because there's not much to be gained by watching those animations. Interesting. A little levitating submarine there, but it looks like a Japanese sub shot at one of my Dutch subs and missed, but definitely cool. You don't see that too often when you have a sub versus sub combat, but it does happen. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't for us. Fortunately, it did not work out for him. Sweep some mine. Oh! Can you imagine if we'd hit that? Oh! So frustrating. Oh, man. Dang it. That would have been a great light cruiser to bag on day 2 here, but we don't get it done. Dang it. Well, okay. I totally expected this. This is completely expected. I'm trying to pull all of my I'm trying to pull all of my ships out of Hong Kong, and I'm sending them in every which way direction because um, they're going to die anyway, right? So we're not going to see anything exciting here. These ships are absolutely, positively dead. So let's just get to the point. Okay. So all 4 are sunk, and that's completely to be expected. I hate that music playing in the background. Okay, another fleet, similar situation here. These are leaving Hong Kong, so these are sunk, and I knew this was going to happen, but I had to do something, right? Right, and another. So these are now dead. All right, so again, expected this. Nah, and more. So these are dead. How much ammo do these guys have? This is crazy. Another one. Amazing. All right, so that's basically everything, I think. Oh, thank God. Oh, nope. Not quite. I tried, guys. I tried to get the Dominion Monarch out of there, but it was just a losing battle trying to do that. It was already damaged in port, and I had nothing to lose by trying to pull it out of there. But obviously ate a torpedo, and that's really going to hurt us. Yeah, so all of this stuff I knew was going to happen, but so what is this? A motor yacht or something here? So this is a minesweeper, a mine layer, which obviously didn't go well. Ah, man. We're just having no luck with these subs right now, guys. So the K-13 takes a shot at the Fumizuki and misses. I sure wish we could actually hit something. So that was pretty bad, but you know. Oh, you don't say you missed again, huh? These poor Dutch subs are just not having any luck. Normally, I would expect them to have a little more accuracy. I do think it's hurting us that he's targeting or that we're targeting, um, and we're taking hits. Great. We're targeting the destroyers and not the bigger ships, and they're harder to hit. Okay, so the K-11 takes 2 hits. I should survive. And then the K-13 is getting hunted by some stuff. It tried to get into immersing, but that's shallow water, so I'm not surprised that it's not having any luck there. Okay, another landing at San Fernando in the Philippines, which, you know, makes sense. He's bringing more stuff into immersing. In the big scheme of things, this won't hurt him at all. And Guam again. And immersing again. And another one. So we're going to be having to do a lot of amphibious invasion animations here. I'm just going to kind of go through them unless I see something really noteworthy, because these are just continuing to land stuff that's already been landed. All right. And again, my goodness. We haven't even got to the air war yet. Yeah, more landings. I'll be glad when these are done. These are just kind of annoying. And another one. Oh, Macon already. Okay. Lot of okay. I get it. I get it. Yes, landings, landings, landings. Okay, so here we are. We're back out here at Pearl Harbor, and I have a lot of ASW ships out and about trying to hunt down his subs. So kind of like the Lodric game when it started in 8th of December. I don't mind these guys running out of torpedoes because it sends them home. And these small ships are hard to hit. As you saw from our Dutch subs, weren't hitting either. Hey, check out these motor yachts. Look at what we found here. What an amazing array. So, you know what? This is kind of cool information here. So we see that he's got 3 carriers. So we got the Kaga, the Hosho. So it looks like 1 fleet carrier and possibly 2 escort carriers or a light carrier. And 1, 2, 3, 4 battleships. Which seems like a little bit of overkill, but, you know, that's fine. Quite the array. Now, if he's going to be escorting his carriers like this, we have no chance of getting in there to do anything to these guys. So all these are done for here. So look at that. So Zuiho, Hosho, and Kaga. We need to take note of this. So that's what we've got off of Mersing right now. Kaga, Zuiho, and Hosho. And Nagato, Fuso, Issei, and Hyuga. And a bunch of destroyers. All right, so this is another task force that I sent out from Singapore to try to disrupt and delay the Japanese ships that were attacking or were going to be cutting me off at Singapore. So hopefully by the sacrifice of these ships, what's going to happen is that I can get more ships out to the south and north. Because we're keeping these guys tied up and they're not actually pursuing us now. Okay. I mean, okay. That will sink. Yep. And now we hit a mine. How did we hit a mine? We should have been the one laying the mines here. Not great, guys. And he's already heading down the Malacca Strait. So this is a sweep over Manila, but we've already pulled our fighters out of there. Same at Clark. I'm not sending anything up to get slaughtered by that. I will say this. He is ordering the 20,000 foot cap right off the bat. We have layered caps. Or sorry, we have phased altitudes for combat. And 20,000 feet is the max for now. So he won't be able to come on above my aircraft. Because that's just fair. Okay, so he's already bombing Wenchao. Not wasting any time with that. Another raid in China here. And these raids are they make perfect sense. These sizes seem right. Okay, another sweep over Manila, but our fighters aren't there. And again, we're not there. So he's sending a bunch of Kates. These are definitely so you saw that, right? Akagi. This is the Akagi and the Shokaku. Let's see if we can see what other ships. Shokaku. Okay. All of this stuff that's happening is completely expected. All right. So this is a raid from Port Arthur onto retreating troops at Loyang, and we take a lot of casualties there. Okay, another raid now on Wenchao. This is a raid on Clark Field. He's going to try to slow us down from building up there. But at this altitude here, he's not going to do much damage to us like that. These raids all seem very reasonable. Yeah, this is stuff that I dealt with in Lodrig's campaign too. These bombing raids so close to Canton because the unit's right outside the city on clear terrain. There's not much you can do to avoid getting hurt by this. Okay. Another raid here. So I'm no longer using the reserve mode to move my troops. So these will knock me from move mode into combat mode when I'm bombed now. Uh, Hellsen had takes exception to that technique in the game, and that's fine. So we agreed to a house rule for it. That's fine. So all what he is doing is slowing me down this time. All right, now it's our turn for a little port strike action, huh? Eh, and there's nothing there, because Hellsen knows what I'm doing more than I know what I'm doing. So he pulled all of his ships out of Sama so that this wouldn't happen, because he's smarter than me. And then we have some B-17s coming in here and are going to get lit up. Let's see if we can do any damage here. And none at all. And this raid was a complete waste. Complete waste. Oh, man. Wow. We hit absolutely nothing. I don't think there's anything even in the port. Yeah, he has no air. He has no ships in the port. I'm really disappointed to see how little my ships advanced up the Makassar Strait here. Look at all the zeros that he's got. This is outrageous. He's had sent 100 zeros to Philippines today. Oh yeah, this is so bad. And some insult to injury, we lost a seagull as well. Because why not? Is this over yet? God, we're still doing air raids. This is the longest turn ever. Look at all the casualties I take on these bombing raids. Oh, looks like somebody violated a ceasefire here. I thought we were bombing in Burma. Okay, that's the way it's gonna be, huh? Okay, well, a training mission caught up in the attack. So does that mean that we get to? What does this mean? I would love to see some Betty's. Well, there we go. Finally, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so a little bright spot on this otherwise horrible turn for us. Looks like he screwed up here. I'm guessing this was a mistake because I fully trust Hellsen to honor all of our agreements, and we discussed him putting a pause on the Burma attack. So I suspect this was an accident because he would normally not send unescorted bombers, right? So bank error in my favor for those of you who play Monopoly. So these kills are my kills, and I'm keeping them all. Nice. Very nice. We may get all of these. It's not a bad way to make an ace or two on the second turn, right? Well, we killed at least 5 of these. I'm thinking we got more, but that's pretty cool. That works. Yeah. Okay, so that's the air phase. Oh, this is not going to be good for that sub. It's not going to be good. Okay, so the K-13 takes 4 more hits. So we're going to get that guy out of there now. Yeah, we need to get him out of there. Like, it's time to go, buddy. Okay, San Fernando again. And Mersing again. Oh my goodness. I hope we're done with those landings now. I've had enough of that. Okay, so look at the size of this force coming in here. This is what I like to call the Singapore killer, right? These guys never had a chance. 1,400 assault value versus 92. No chance. I'm surprised we even caused any casualties at all. Quanton, I'm sure won't survive that. Yeah, this 65th Brigade is too strong. All right, so all these aircraft that were on the ground are destroyed. There's nothing we could have done to get them out because I couldn't rail them out. There's no rail line. He bombed these on turn 1, and I couldn't do anything about it. Quite a heavy list of casualties there. Look at this, man. A lot of engineers. See that? Oh, they put up a good fight, right? We don't really do many casualties to him, but we take a ton in return. And Guam will not survive this infantry regiment here. 18-1 odds, right? Ah. And now we have to listen to this lady with the overblown sound. Dog faces and boneheads, huh? Guam. All right, well, good job on Guam, huh? And Kota Baru. This should fall. Yep. All right. And in Macon, we had nothing there, so I don't know why they're cheering. Well, we walked on this island and we took it for free. Let's cheer about that. So that was it. It was bad. Yes. Was it as bad as I thought? Maybe not. We'll have to take a look at the intelligence analysis and really dissect all the ships that we lost this turn because I kind of lost track of it all. But what I did see was a decent amount of them actually got a bit south. So whether that was because he wasn't trying or because we actually did it right, I don't know. So we have some leaders coming available here. I don't think we need to sit here and look at all of these. Okay, now we have some ships coming in, different places, which we can definitely use these reinforcements from the first day. Okay, all right, all right. So obviously on the first day we're getting a lot of reinforcements, and I'm also moving a lot of stuff around. So some of these aren't necessarily new units; they are just units that I'm transferring to different area. And as I said in a previous video, East USA is the gold star training spot. So sorry about the music during the turn. I don't know what happened. Let's take a look at the intelligence right now. Okay, guys, and here we are. So instead of calling this the intelligence brief for the analysis, I'm going to call this a damage report. So let's look at the damage. We'll start in the customary fashion with aircraft losses. So today was a little bit interesting because um, we we actually almost broke even, and here's why. For whatever reason, Hellsen decided to break the ceasefire and send his bombers to Burma, but he sent them unescorted. So we shot down 10 out of 10 that came. So needless to say, we got some good kills there. I'm sure it was a mistake, and I don't think he'll do it again. Unfortunately, my raid on Babel went absolutely horribly. We lost 7 bombers, which is terrible for B-17Ds. I could have found a much better use for them than that, and we hit nothing. Really disappointed in this. We lost 6 Blenheims on the ground because he captured a base where they were broke at. He lost the Babs, 2 zeros. We lost the Hudson for the same reason as above. Looks like he lost a recon plane, a couple recon planes. And we lost a Devastator to Opslos, which is really unfortunate because we don't really have a lot of replacements for those. So hopefully we can prevent that from happening anymore. And a Seagull was shot down during cap. Looking at pilot losses, unfortunately they were not so great. So we have 2 pilots wounded in action and 3 KIA, which isn't great. Probably all bomber pilots, I would imagine. But we do have some British pilots and Buffaloes that shot down all those Bettys, which is cool. Army loss points are quite high, and these are going to skyrocket in the first couple months of the war because we just have troops in isolated places that can't escape. So when he takes the base, he kills them all. There's nothing we can do to prevent that. Now here is the most interesting metric to look at here, and it's the ship sunk count. Never in a million years did I think that I would be at 100 ships lost in 2 days. But this is what happens when you play a Japanese player that gets to do an unhistorical start and knows all of your stuff better than you know it. So he pre-positioned his ships to kill stuff that he knows has to flee certain areas. And there's nothing that I can do about it. There's absolutely nothing that I can do to prevent this. So it just sucks that we just have to eat it. And there's no way to get out of it. He, of course, loses nothing. So looking at today's ship sunk count, let's just sort it by type. It's just extreme. So we lose another handful of ships in Manila. We lose this poor Dutch mine layer near Billiton. A couple motor yachts, and these are the ones that sent out on a suicide mission in Mersing. As the same with these motor launches, they were killed at Mersing. Every single ship that I sent out of Hong Kong did not make it out. Not a single one. Because he had destroyers stationed outside of port. They were just sitting there waiting for him to come out. What can I do about that? If I left them in port, he would bomb them to death. If I sailed them at sea, they would die. There's no good answer here. So, yeah. So I would say that a large percent of the ships we lost this turn were from Hong Kong because there was just no other way. And this was interesting here. This ship to Kapong was sunk near Palembang, but that does not look like a. It doesn't look like a Japanese mine. So let's look this up. The VH Mark II mine. The VH Mark II mine. Let's see if we can figure out what that is. Where's the? I always have trouble finding the glossary here. Let's go. It's not there. Maybe it's this. Yeah. VH Mark II mine. So basically, what this is telling me is that we got sunk by our own mine. I have never in this game seen something like that. So apparently, we sank our own ship with one of our own mines. Has anybody ever else seen this? By all means, speak up. I think I had the music up a bit high. Sorry, guys, if it was blasting. My apologies. I fixed it now. Um, has anybody seen a friendly mine sink one of your own ships? Because this is a first for me. So that's disturbing, to say the least. Anyway, 96 ships sunk, and we've got way more to go. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Let's take a look. So I feel we were, despite the ship losses we did incur, whether he intentionally did it or not, he pulled a lot of his ships back to Mersing, and I don't know why. But that means that they're not coming south. So this is going to buy us time to get more of these ships out and away. He does have subs down here. So we will probably take some more losses from these ships. I have them going out this way and out towards Merak. And I do expect more casualties next turn. He could easily send these ships south. The aircraft could go south, but I know he's got subs here. But here's what we did do: we got mines laid at Merak, and we're gonna lay more next turn. And basically, we're gonna create a choke point for his subs so that he cannot continue past Merak. So any ship that clears here is basically gonna be somewhat safe from ship and sub attack for a short while, and that's a good thing. And as you can see, a lot of these are already busted out and are well on their way to... Okay, now we can slow these down. Check it out. And this is just a regular transport. A lot of these task ships did clear out and are on their way to the relocation sites, which is really awesome. I thought I would lose more than that, so the fact that we got some of these out so far is a good thing. I really expected almost everything in Singapore to die last turn, and it didn't. With that being said, we do have some issues. The poor Dominion Monarch took a torp in addition to being bombed the previous turn, but because it's such a big ship with a lot of durability, it's tanking that damage pretty good. So I think we can get it to Batavia for at least some sort of emergency repair. And once we have it patched up, we can sail it all the way out to Cape Town for permanent repairs. So I think we can get the Dominion Monarch out, which is something that's very important to me because it's a ship that I really think is cool. It's worth a lot of points, and it is actually a great troop ship. So if we can save it, that'd be awesome. So we can take a look here. There's nothing really to say in Rangoon, Burma, the Bay of Bengal, anything in India. We're just relocating ships right now. Nothing of note. Obviously, Malaya, he landed and won at Kota Baru, Kuantan, and Mersing. So what he's going to be doing next turn is starting to immediately push south. You can see right here, he's pushing south, he's pushing north, and he's pushing down towards Johor Bahru. And he's just going headlong to try to take Singapore. And he will take Singapore very quickly. So all we can do is try to delay here at Johor with as much resources as we can. And we've got a lot, basically all the fighting power that we have available in Singapore. I'm moving up to Johor just to buy us some time. If we can stop him for a day, that'd be super, but I doubt we will. He's moving way faster than Lodric ever did. So I didn't even bother trying to rail my troops down because it takes sometimes 2 to 3 days to pack them up and get them down here. And what am I going to get out of it? I'm going to maybe buy a few days of time, but not that much. So I'd rather them clog up these rail lines up here than try to stop them from taking Singapore because it's just not going to happen. Over in the Philippines, he won here at San Fernando, which was totally expected. But that does buy us time to continue moving our troops down towards Clark. And that's something that I do like about this setup that we did not get before, was that we're going to get more troops into Clark than we were able to do in the Lodric game. I'm just checking out the supply situation here. Yeah, we're getting more troops into here than Lodric allowed us, because he did come in here at Batangas, and he locked these troops up here and locked up the troops to the south, and that kept let's see, another almost 260 270 AV from getting into Clark Field. And that, when you're sitting behind good forts with a lot of terrain like we've got here, adds up to a lot. So we're going to get more troops into Clark Field than Lodric let us do. So that's one thing that Lodric did smart, was going into Batangas. And even though we lost every ship we could in Manila, this is all that's left, and it will die next turn. What am I trying to say? Hellsen's doing a more of a traditional approach into attacking Luzon, coming in on the north and working your way south, where Lodric came around south and cut us off. Now, he took a lot of ship casualties doing that, but he saved himself a lot of troop casualties by blocking us from retreating north. So that's something in our favor that we didn't have before. Looking into Dutch East Indies, we do have what appears to be his carrier task force heading back towards Babel. But we also have this unit here, which is some sort of surface combat unit, and it's heading southwest, which would be this direction. He has these cruisers here, which are indicating moving southeast, but I don't know if I believe that. I think he's going to try to shoot down the Makassar Strait. What I did do, so I would not needlessly lose my cruiser, remember the Houston? If I had kept him going this way, he would have cut us off, and we would have lost it. So what I did was I stopped it at Tawi Tawi, and I put it in port. And hopefully that hides it from him for a while. And once I see that he moves these ships out, I can man this up and shoot it down quickly into Surabaya and save it. We were able to successfully rescue these three ships from Hong Kong. These were the three British destroyers at Hong Kong. We did get them out. So I have them hiding in Sandakan because I didn't want them trying to make that continue to trip further south with these ships here. So I have them temporarily hold up here in Sandakan. And what I'm going to do after here is, when I see this clears out, I'm going to move them down here to Tarakan to refuel. And then we're going to instantly do a full speed move down to Surabaya, and we'll rescue these three destroyers. So far, we haven't lost a whole lot of destroyers. I don't know. Let's take a look. I don't know if I even lost any, so. Oh, I take that back. I did. I have lost some destroyers, but it's only because they were in port and I couldn't get them out. So I've lost these guys, which the Clemmies are really good. I wish I could have saved the Clemsons, because they turn into some totally amazing destroyer escort ships in a couple months from now. So I would have been able to convert these into something better, but they got sunk in port. But overall, I have still saved a significant chunk of destroyers that can be converted into something better later on. If you look at Surabaya, basically most of the 80 ABDA command is intact here. And a lot of these are Clemsons, which, as you can see, can turn into destroyer escorts later on. So we've saved all of these so far, okay? And I have no intention of wasting them in a fruitless attack this time around. So we've saved a lot of these ships, and I will not be needlessly sending them out to die unless I'm really certain of victory. And this time around, we have way better naval search. As you can see, we've got good eyes on what he's got coming in and going out, for the most part. I'm sure there's some things we could be doing better with naval search, but all in all, I think we've got a better handle on the situation. So one thing I will do this next turn is put these guys back on naval search because I was using them to move some troops around, but I just don't have time for that anymore. And I wasn't going to move a lot of troops. I was moving basically the 224 squadron headquarters or 224 group because I need this aviation support in Rangoon later on. So I'm trying to pull these out of Singapore while I can. I certainly couldn't do it by ship because he just basically shut down that option right off the bat. So that's what's going on in the Dutch East Indies. It's not too bad. And also, we got a good handle on the Philippines. We will continue to retreat back to Clark Field and get these forts going as quickly as possible. Absolutely nothing to discuss in the Solomons right now. Nothing that we see is happening. He did take Macon, but big deal. Nothing exciting to report in Australia other than that we are finally getting some ships moving out here and heading out to LA. As you can see, you can take a quick gander. We have a lot of ships moving all over the place. So I think that's kind of it for this turn. I mean, oh, I did it again. China. I wish I could tell you there was something to say here, but there's really not. One thing that I see that's a little interesting here is that Lodrick was very hyper aggressive early on and moving to block roads and moving towards down here, moving all over the place. So what I see going on this time around is that he actually appears to be condensing. Okay, he's left Aichang. He's heading down into Hankow. He's heading down into here, right? He's condensing. See the little arrows? Okay. He's condensing over here. He's not doing anything over here. He's heading troops the other way there, and I can't get a handle on what he's doing right now. This is way different than what Lodrick did. One thing that's going in our favor is it's going to cost him a lot of political points to unload the garrison armies from Korea and Manchukuo to send down to here. He can do it, but it's going to cost him political points. So, in the meantime, that buys us time. And what does time do? Time buys you options, right? So while we're subjected to bombing, and that's pretty standard, I feel like we're going to be able to set up my defense plan a lot better this time around than what we were able to do in the Lodrick game. So, you know, I'm okay with what's going on in China right now, and I think that as time goes on, we'll have a stronger defense in China than we were able to do with Lodrick, because Lodrick just pushed the pace so hard from turn one that I didn't have a chance to really catch my breath here, where I feel like I will here. One last thing I do want to show you guys before I end this video is you notice how I don't have very many aircraft left? I pulled them all out of the Philippines. And I've also want you to see that this is the last time you'll see this P-40 war. I did have them on a naval attack, but they didn't do anything. This is the last time you're going to see this P-40 naval attack thing. These guys are destined for better things. And there were also two other P-40 squadrons here in the Philippines, and I've moved them somewhere else, and I won't tell you where. But hopefully we can use them to good effect somewhere else here in the near future. Anyway, so that's our turn. Pretty bad, but, you know, I expected it to be bad based on what we experienced on the 7th of December. And all things considered, I'm actually okay with how things are going right now. We will lose more ships here. It's without question. But overall, I think we stand a good chance of getting out some good ships that we lost that we may have lost otherwise, which will help us for our setup. To include Force Z. It's banged up, it's hurt, but it's intact. So I can get these guys somewhere, get them back in the fight, and they will help us with the defense of India when that time comes. So we did get a lot of stuff out, all right? And by next turn, these guys will be far enough away that they shouldn't be under error attack. Anyway, that's my turn. I'm going to start working on getting this back. It's going to take me a few days to get this one dialed in because the first few turns with the allies require a lot of micromanaging until things are moving in the right direction. So I need a few days to work on this, but I will get this going, and we'll run this in parallel with the Lodric game. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting me and Hellsen. If you haven't added his Twitch channel or his YouTube channel to your favorites, please do it. Subscribe. I want you to support him like you guys have been supporting me. And I'll put the plug in again. If you're not on my Discord, you're missing out. We're helping people learn the game. We're teaching people how to get CB to work. We're talking about strategy in the secret channels. It's a great time. We have almost 100 people on board now. So if you're not there, you need to be there. If you want to ask me questions, that's the best place to do it because I can talk about things there that I don't feel comfortable talking about on YouTube for OPSEC reasons. So get your butt over there. We'll catch you soon. Goodbye.